time for the KBOI Medical Moment, brought to you by Regence Blue Shield of Idaho, featuring Dr. Mark Hiatt. Dr. Hiatt is the executive director, the executive medical director for Regence. And Dr. Hiatt, how are you this morning?
Very good. Thanks, Chris and Paul J.
Doc, a lot of people rely on home remedies. I had an aunt who was famous for her home remedies. What should you do when confronted? Are they good? Do they help? Do they not help? Are they dangerous?
Well, I think most home remedies may be benign, but people need to really remember that these home remedies or natural therapies haven't been put through the same rigorous clinical testing that we expect, for example, from pharmaceutical medications. And so there may be two problems with these remedies. First, they may not work, but more importantly, second, they may actually make you worse off.
Doctor, should we ignore home remedies completely?
Chris, I'd say not necessarily, but we should approach home remedies with a healthy dose of skepticism. And a lot of people think that just because they're natural, that they may be safe and helpful, but we need to remember that a lot of natural things can actually harm you and even kill us, like asbestos and poison hemlock.
Yeah.
Doctor, a lot of millennials apparently have to be told that when they have the flu, they should stay home. Now, how is the upcoming flu season looking?
It's not looking too good for us in this country because we have a premonition of it for how things are happening in the southern hemisphere, especially Australia, which was hit really hard over the past few months with the flu. So we should be concerned about this upcoming flu season in this country.
A new survey about what people do when they're sick is pretty interesting. What did it show?
Well, it showed, Paul J., that of the nearly 2,000 adults surveyed, that millennials, and here I'm talking about people aged about 18 to 34, who had the flu or flu-like symptoms, were much more likely than older folks to go out when they're sick. They still go to work, they go to the store, they go to the gym.
Well, what should people do when they feel sick?
Well, really, people, and particularly millennials, when they feel sick, is not to be so bold and daring to go out while they're feeling ill, but to really be considerate. The idea here is not to expose others because, of course, the flu is contagious. And so when you feel sick, you really should call in sick.
Now, Doctor, lately we've heard a lot about allergies, and especially there have been some headlines about peanut allergies. First off, what has been the traditional thinking about peanut allergies?
Chris, the traditional thinking about peanut allergy has been that really parents should avoid giving their children any type of peanut product until they're about 3 years of age if they suspect any risk of allergy.
Now, what is the new thinking about that?
Well, that thinking has changed, and this is somewhat revolutionary to a lot of parents, and it may sound strange. There are new guidelines that actually suggest giving young children peanuts, even if they're at risk for an allergy. And so the new guidelines recommend that most children before the age of 6 months should get a taste of peanut protein, and really that this should be done cautiously, of course, and if there's any suspicion for a high risk of allergy, this should be done under the watch of a specialist in his or her office.
Why the change?
Well, the change really does incorporate new findings, which shows that giving peanuts to children early enough in life can actually train their immune systems so that later in life they don't overreact to something that's common to them. We really want to avoid them having a dangerous reaction, and so we can actually prevent these children from developing an allergy to peanuts.
Well, Dr. Hiatt, we appreciate your time this morning on KBOI.
Thank you.
Thanks, Doc.
It's the KBOI Medical Moment, brought to you every Tuesday by Regence Blue Shield of Idaho, featuring Dr. Mark Hiatt, the Executive Medical Director for Regence.